Well, my parents came out here in the mid-40s, around 1947, to work at Central Islip Psychiatric Hospital. Ironically, my mother worked in the hospital building that's directly across from the courthouse where I work right now. My dad was the hospital photographer, and my mother was one of the x-ray technicians there. I went to parochial schools and then to public schools. After school, I went to college for music. I got a degree in music. I worked for a number of years as a professional musician and then decided to finish my education at State University and go to law school. I was a full-time employee of an insurance carrier while I went to law school. Afterwards, I became a trial attorney for that insurance company and I did my very first trial in the Bronx, and I did a number of cases. I did my very first appeal for that insurance company as well. And then I moved on to a larger insurance carrier out here on Long Island, where I had responsibility for 3 counties, trials, verdicts, and settlements and arbitrations in those 3 different counties, Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens. I got great experience at that law firm because we did all of our own appeals. And so I got a chance to not only write all the significant motions and briefs in any given case, but I also had the opportunity to make the appellate arguments if the case actually went to appeal. I'm proud to say that of the 5 appeals that I did for that firm, I won 4 and lost 1. But I probably learned more in just the writing and the doing of the appeals than whether I won or lost, and that is one of the things that has made my judicial career, my initial work at the trial level, so interesting. I had the opportunity to do the nuts and bolts work of an appeal before I ever set foot in a courtroom as a judge.
Judge Ford has a way of pulling the 2 sides together that you come to a fair resolution rather than a resolution that leaves long-lasting harm when it's not necessary. On the flip side, he is not afraid to drop the hammer on somebody that deserves it or it's called for. That's one of the most important things to have as a judge. There aren't that many judges that understand the balance. There are either the judges that believe they're law and order and they're there to protect society and they don't look at both sides. And then there are judges that only look at the side of the defendant. That's not good either. You need a judge that can look at it from that lofty position of being a judge, not either pro-defendant or pro-prosecution. Sometimes I think the fact that he came in from outside of the criminal justice system and then thrust into the middle of the criminal justice system probably gives him a different perspective. He's an excellent judge.
After I left the second insurance company, Zurich of North America, I went to work as an assistant county attorney. That was a real change in direction, working for local government. The county attorney is a fantastic office here in Suffolk County. They have about 63 or 4 attorneys working for them in a variety of different bureaus. And I had the opportunity to work for the first woman county attorney, Christine Malafi, who was a great mentor and role model. I got a vast range of experiences there, working on federal matters, drafting policies and procedures for new county laws, working with the county Medicaid plan, county disciplinary matters, just a broad range of legal experience, federal experience, state experience. Everything that came through the doorway landed on our desks at that office.
At a college where I instruct, I'm the advisor to a criminal justice club, and we invited Judge Ford to speak to the communities within the college, and that included students interested in criminal justice, people who were studying treatment, and those involved in the mental health arena. And the judge connected with everyone in the audience because he has such experience and knowledge on the issues related to all of those areas. Streamlining criminal justice, attacking the underlying problem, not just the symptoms of criminal justice problems such as theft that might result from someone's addiction, the domestic violence that might be the result of addiction and problems within families, and just the fact that he is able to look at the treatment options, secure treatment options for people, looking at alternatives to incarceration, and even supervising incarceration and probation in an effective way is what results in just what people need to get out of that cycle of criminality.
Judge Ford really, got into him and, held him, I keep on using the word, held him accountable, because sometimes with mental illness, you don't know if they really truly can understand what they have done. And that's the sad part. And Judge Ford didn't yell or scream. He talked to him like he was a person. And yet, where my son would feel comfortable and say, oh, I had a bad week, and, pour his heart out to Judge Ford. It was really enlightening.
Well, his integrity is beyond reproach, and his character is one that treats every single person that comes in front of him, regardless of what else is going on, with respect and a smile, which may be the only one they've ever seen in a very long time. So, yeah, his character is without question, and his integrity, I've never questioned his motive on doing anything. It's always the right motive.
I was at the county attorney's office when I received the opportunity to run for district court judge in 2008. That was a different kind of experience running for elected office. It wasn't the first time I had run for elected office. I had run for the town board in the town of Islip back in 2003, but this was a different sort of office, running for judicial office. I'm happy to say that I was successful that year, and I spent the first 5 years on the bench in a criminal trial part. I loved that work, and that really was a chance for me to bring together everything that I had been doing over the last 15 years as an attorney into the courtroom. I've had the most amazing experience as a judge in a criminal trial part. I believe that I've been able to treat the lawyers and the litigants in exactly the same way that I would hope to be treated if I was an attorney appearing in court, and that is to be treated fairly, to allow the lawyers to make their case, to allow the litigants, if they're not represented by an attorney for any reason, to be able to make their case also. It's probably the most important thing for anybody when they walk into a courtroom is to have a sense that they will be heard. Whether or not the judge ultimately agrees with their position is another discussion, but to create that space where the attorneys, the litigants, the district attorney, where everyone feels that they can present their case is really what a court is supposed to be, in my view. So that is what I've really strived to make that happen over the last 5 years. In 2014, I was given the opportunity to preside over the drug treatment and the mental health treatment court. Again, the irony is that an area where both of my parents had worked for so many years in mental health treatment and substance abuse treatment, now, some 40 years later, their son is presiding over a court that deals with exactly those issues. And I really, in a real sense, feel like I've come full circle in that regard.
So what strikes me on why I support Judge Will Ford is because he is a devout man of faith, and he is a extremely good father and husband and family man. I've interacted with he and his wife Pam and his 2 sons. He has worshiped with me on Sunday morning services, and he's true. He's a man who is honest, great integrity, and he loves people and he loves this community. And so that's why I'm sitting here in full support of Judge Ford.
Judge Ford believes in the law, and his dedication to the law is without exception. His record on the bench is one of upholding the law, and his service is impeccable. He has proven it time and time again. He tempers law with justice and compassion. You don't get that from everybody, on the bench or off the bench. He knows how to temper it with compassion, but the responsibility of protecting everybody, not a select few.
Judge Ford is the right choice.
Judge Ford is the right choice. This is not questionable. The man needs to stay on the bench. He's got the experience, the knowledge, and the temperament for what he is doing. Starting over and taking pot luck is not the smart move here. We need to keep Judge Ford.